Hi everyone, this is Korosh Erfani, and today is Saturday, January 10th, 2026. Let's see news regarding what's happening in Venezuela. As you know, the objective of the American operation completely nature from drug trafficking and this kind of propaganda to the reality of the subject, which is taking control of the oil resources of Venezuela. But we are talking about something that looks like more wishful thinking than a real project. In an attempt to make it a project or materializing it, as you can see, Trump tried really badly to attract the attention of the huge oil companies in order to invest there. He gathered all the executives of the big huge giant oil companies so that they accept effectively to invest some $100 billion in the Venezuela's oil facilities. They promised something, but nothing interesting, nothing important. Much far from the 100 billion President Trump expected. The reason is that when you are inviting these oil companies to go to another country with a government, an army, a nation, to a country that doesn't belong to you, and to invest billions and billions without having any insurance regarding what is going on after, they don't do that, and they are extremely cautious about that. So that's why as they tout that this moron is not able to understand the risk of investment because he never did that, all his career and business was effectively fraud. So they didn't promise anything. So which means that the whole operation of Venezuela is now in suspension, and President Trump is not sure to do something useful because he was promising that if there is $100 billion of investment, we are going to have Venezuela's oil in 18 months. 18 months. So as there is no such a thing, there is no investment. Some companies promise to put $100 million, the things like that. We are far from $1,000 million, $100 billion. So as you can see, it's a total failure, right? It's a disastrous adventure just in order to show effectively that we are extremely powerful while we don't know what exactly it means. So this is coming along with another catastrophic situation in the United States regarding killing the people by the private army of the Israeli President of the United States, Stephen Miller, by ICE, and they are killing now the American citizen, right? And as you can see, there is no more question of, immigration or illegal immigrant or the things like that, but the normal white citizen of the United States. They'll kill everyone. Don't forget that ICE is the American branch of IDF. So now they are killing, and the people realize that something extremely bad is happening, and that's why from 2 days ago we started to have protests across the United States, and today it was a nationwide protest in almost all the main states, and in some cases it was with violence and clashes between the law enforcement agents and the protesters. So President Trump and his team now is in serious troubles regarding this adventure that Israel organized for the United States that is called ICE. Now, talking about Israel, we should know that it is in a huge trouble because tonight actually we got a great protest in Israel asking for a resignation of Netanyahu. That's why Netanyahu is right now, in order to create a diversion, bombing against Gaza, to give them a little satisfaction that we never stop killing people. Anywhere, somewhere in the world, we are killing some innocent people. So please let me do that. This is what Netanyahu is saying. So we know that both men, Trump, because according to the new revelation, we got just something between 1 to 6% of the Epstein files, right? Which means that now we have to wait and to expect the publication or the availability of 96 or 99% of this file, including a lot of information, bad information, destructive information, maybe for Donald Trump. So, which means he's in danger, he's at risk, seriously here for the reason that we know, and Netanyahu over there. So imagine two people who are extremely, we can say, faulty for what they did before. Netanyahu for the criminal activity for October 7, and here for the immoral, unethical relationship with young girls, for example. So these two people are able to set fire in the whole world. And don't think that they are only able, they are doing so. They are doing that. And you can be sure that we are going to see much more of this. But let me come to the subject that can put together all of this. I'm talking about Iran and the situation that we have over there. And this is the main point of my presentation. As you know, Israel is triggering a lot of clashes inside Iran between protesters and the Iranian regime agents. We know that these protests started because of the economic situation, because of inflation, because of poverty and the things like that. But suddenly it transformed itself into something extremely violent, political, even ideological, and right now nobody knows what is going on in Iran exactly because of the internet outage or the telecommunication disruption. So we don't have any idea about that. But Israel set the things in such a way that Trump engages in something extremely dangerous, which is that if there are victims of the Iranian government's repression regarding the protesters, the United States will intervene militarily in order to hit the Iranian government. And of course, the Iranian government promised to react, and showing effectively a very violent reaction. This is the promise of the Iranian government, which means that putting at risk the life of thousands and thousands of American soldiers in the region, in the Persian Gulf and around. So, which means that such a decision by Trump would be for sure the triggering point of a regional war, an all-out war, across the whole Middle East. We can be sure about that. But at the same time, Israel is trying to see if it can create such a chaos in Iran that could be a center for spreading troubles in the whole Middle East. Because don't forget that the final objective of Israel is to demolishing completely Middle East in such a way that it can build up its project of a greater Israel over there. So there is no country that is really put aside in the calculation of the Zionists. It's after Lebanon, after Gaza, after the West Bank, after Syria, in the line you find Iran, Iraq, Turkey, Pakistan, all the Arab countries of the Persian Gulf. So everyone must be completely demolished so that Israel can build the greater Israel up over there. So that's the idea. Now, for Israel, it's not important to make possible a bright future for Iran. It doesn't make sense because we had historical capability and opportunity to do so in 1979, in the 70s, we can say, and Israel effectively did everything that was necessary to topple down the Iranian monarchy at that time. So, which means that Israel doesn't never wants to have a great Iran, right? A glorious Iran. What it wants is a poor Iran, is a destroyed Iran, and at the end of the day, a completely disintegrated Iran. So that's why we should be attentive about the consequences of such operation that is going on right now, in such a way that Israel can get to its objectives, right? This is the Zionist plan. But let's think about that. Does it mean that if we don't want to see the Israeli plan succeeding in Iran, we have to defend the Iranian regime? We have to side with the Iranian regime? My answer is no. We must not take the things at face value, okay? Because we are talking about a Zionist dictatorship against the whole humanity, and we are talking about the Islamic dictatorship against the Iranian nation. So what's good in that? Nothing. We cannot really strike a happy balance between these two. We have to decide about both of them. And as an Iranian, I can tell you that the interrelation between the Israeli Zionist regime and the Iranian Islamic regime is an organic interrelationship. They need it at least for almost 48 years each other. Right, so that's why they supported each other and acted together in many fronts, in many cases, implicitly, explicitly, directly, indirectly. They did that, and that's why we must not be duped, must not be fooled by what they are presenting it, as I told you, at face value. No. We must be aware that beyond any doubt, the Iranian regime is a corrupted regime, is a dictator, is an anti-democratic, is an anti-Iranian regime, and there is no doubt about that. Even its anti-Israeli, anti-Zionist character is completely fake, and I don't believe in that, because you cannot, fight against something that is against humanity on crushing, the dignity and the humanity of a nation. It doesn't make sense. Think about that. You cannot defend anything positive, if you are destroying yourself, everything that has been positively construed during 10,000 years in Iran. This is what the Iranian regime was doing, I think, for the in favor of the Israeli interest. But let's come to the current situation right now. What's going on? Imagine that this plan of toppling the Iranian regime down is going to succeed. Well, let's just imagine. Will succeed, and we are going to have an Iran without the Iranian regime. The first point, the attentive. Iran without regime, this bad dictator regime and anything. Iranian without regime means Iranian without government. Iranian without any government. That's very important. So the objective of the Zionists of Israel is not to destroy the Iranian regime, is to destroy the Iranian state nation in such a way that there wouldn't be any more state nation, which means an entity that we can call by and large Iran, over there. And this is what Israel wants, to put an end, if it wants to lose effectively a complice regime that served for erasing any enemy of Israel in the Middle East. It must not really be with the replacement of the Iranian regime with another one, democratic, popular, nationalist, Iranian genuinely, the things like that. No. So the idea is how we can get rid of the Iranian regime in such a way that we get chaos, total chaos in Iran. Why? Because when you think about who are the winners in this case, who win really? First of all, and before anything you can imagine, is a matter of Israel. Israel is the first, and we are going to see the unique winner of the disintegration of Iran through the overthrow of the Iranian regime. So that's the first point. Another winners, just for short term, could be United States, for example, or the Gulf, the Persian Gulf countries around. But just for short term, there is no more Islamic Iranian regime, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen after. Turkey could be satisfied because the absence of the Iranian regime will create effectively a power vacuum in the Middle East. Turkey will try to fill it and to expand its influence, over the fields in which the Iranian regime was operating. Another so-called positive aspect or the winning point could be the Iranian oil will come to the market, maybe with a quantity even higher than what it is right now, and through that we can have a oil price downfall, for let's say a few months, right? An oil price that can be interesting for some companies. But let's think about that. As you can see, the real winner is, for now, in this list, just Israel. And the other so-called winners will be somehow, and to some extent, the losers. Because when we think about the losers, we can see that the list is huge. The first losing point is the creation of a huge instability in the region. The stability will be gone for decades for all the region, for the whole Middle East. right? And there is a reason, because with the absence of the Iranian regime, which I told you, I am not talking about the dictatorship of the religious dictatorship. I am talking about state, the institution, Iranian state nation. When it's not there, it means total chaos in the biggest country in the region. And this chaos will spread everywhere. Middle East, West Asia, East Asia, Central Asia, Europe even, because millions and millions of refugees will go somewhere in Turkey or other countries around, coming to the Central Asia. That would be a total chaos. I am talking about dozens of millions of refugees, because we are talking about a nation of 90 million people. Iranian nation will be maybe the first real loser of such a situation, because it will lose everything. It will be sunk in such a chaos that millions and millions of people cannot find water, food, security, or anything. This is what Israel wants for Iran. This is the deep desire and deep plan of Zionists for Iran. 90 million people with 10,000 years of history, vanishing completely. This is what they want. This is what Netanyahu wants. There would be a huge amount of ethnic violence, social violence, civil wars. Imagine just the number of people who have to make displacement, going somewhere in order to find food or something. People are talking about what Iranian regime calls acts of resistance, Hamas, Hezbollah, Hashd al-Shabi, and so on. But these are just the secondary point. The main point is that the Iranian nation will be destroyed completely, will be completely pulled down. And by extension, we are going to have the fate of all the neighbors, all the Iran's neighbors called into question. Their future will be completely dark, because when the chaos installs in Iran, it starts to spread out everywhere, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Iraq, in Turkey, in all the Persian Gulf country, in Central Asia. Everyone will regret that. The neighbors will see the spillover, disorder, and chaos everywhere. With the refugees, millions and millions of refugees over there, and the security threats. I can tell you, the real loser of this situation is regional peace. There won't be any peace. Imagine how smart was the move of Saudi Arabia since a few days ago in Yemen, in order to recover effectively the southern part of Yemen from the UAE, the agent of Israel that we called UAE, because they wanted effectively to announce the independence of southern Yemen in such a way that Israel can recognize it, like the Somaliland, and can come over there militarily, just in the southern border of Saudi Arabia, and taking over almost the whole Yemen, and then Somaliland and Yemen having total control over the Strait of Aden over there with the Red Sea. So that's why this degree of vigilance and intelligence by Saudi Arabia shows effectively the Arab countries over the region, except UAE, which is the foothold of Israel among the Arabs, want peace. All the countries, all the Persian Gulf Arab countries want effectively peace. But what Israel is preparing for them through creating the greatest chaos of the history in Iran is war and instability. So that's why, if there is such a change in Iran, change by Israel, by according to an Israeli plan, based on Zionist design, there would be a huge threat for the Persian Gulf security over there for decades. You can be sure, for decades. This is the first victory of the Zionists over the Middle East. Second, we are going to have such a spread and increase and growth of terrorism and a refugee crisis that for decades again nobody in that region, I am talking about the whole Western Asia, including Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Persian Gulf countries, Iran, and Central Asia, Azerbaijan, and so on. There won't be any peace over there. There would be millions and millions of refugees, ethnic wars, civil wars, terrorism, the emergence of the groups, the armed groups, and so on. This is what is happening, in many countries with the failed state. We are going to have an increase of extremism of all kinds, religious, ethnic, political, ideological, a total chaos in the region. I am talking almost about the whole Asia, right? Because it spreads to Central Asia, Western Asia, Eastern Asia, everywhere. So that's why we must be aware about the negative and destructive effect and impact of the intervention of the United States in what's going on in Iran. And the same thing, the manipulation of the Zionists regarding what is going on in Iran. But in conclusion, let me tell you something. All of this doesn't mean that we have to support the Iranian regime. Don't forget that the Iranian regime is the main actor that brought effectively the whole region in such a situation, of course, with the complicity of the Zionist entity, right? Iraq didn't do that. Other Arab countries didn't do that. Iran did. Concretely, the Iranian regime did that. The Iranian regime created the context for such a huge, extreme chaos in the region. So that's why supporting the Iranian regime means continuing in the same direction. It means having the same status for again years and years. So it means getting to a worse situation. Simply means worsening the future of all the nations in the Middle East. So that's, in other words, it's very miscalculated to think that because we don't want the Zionist design going ahead in Iran, we have to support the Iranian regime. Let me suggest a third possibilities. Not supporting Israel and its big dog United States, not supporting the Iranian regime with its extremely negative record for the Iranian people. Both of them are effectively the bad scenarios. There is a third one. The third one is effectively focusing on what could be a real social movement by the Iranian people, because the Iranian people are more or less aware about the negative and the nasty intention of Zionist entity Israel. They know how the United States can be destructive. They saw Iraq, they saw Afghanistan, and many other cases, right now Venezuela. So the core of the Iranian nation is not really eager to have the intervention of Americans, Israeli, or any other foreign country or force at all. So that's why if we have a movement, let's say a national movement or a nationalist movement led by the Iranian people's elite, right? Iranian leadership, effectively. I am talking about a socio-political leadership that exists potentially in Iran, but they are killed, they are repressed, they are put in prison, and they cannot act with the least freedom necessary to organize effectively the people for a positive change. If the Iranian regime continues effectively to kill the people on the one hand, and on the other hand, the solution would be the American intervention. We are talking about the Judeo-imperialist American intervention, right? This is the right title for that. So if we believe in the only solution which is presented by the Zionist media as the necessity of intervention, and this is a very old story. All these odd guys that you can see here, these are the people who were the mercenaries of the United States, of Israel, in order to incite, to trigger the sabotage or the destruction of their own countries, and Reza Pahlavi, that is right now promoted by the Zionist network, is exactly someone who is doing what another Israeli, Machado, was doing for her country, right? Because Corina Machado was inviting the United States to bomb Venezuela. Guaido was telling the same thing. These are the mercenaries. They got money in order to promote effectively the destruction of their own countries. On the contrary, we can have a positive alternative, which is to see effectively what the Iranian nation wants, beyond the manipulation, propaganda, the Zionist propaganda, and so on, and support it. And I am telling you, the Iranian nation doesn't need any intervention in order to be able to handle the Iranian regime, to overthrow the regime, to change it, to reform it, or to do whatever it wants. It doesn't really need that. Imagine that when you have this son of a Satan, son of a monster, not Rothschild. Not Rothschild is one of the son of the famous Rothschild, and he's asking President Trump to send U.S. troops into Iran. This Zionist, this cannibal, is asking effectively to go there militarily. So which means that they are afraid from one thing. They are not afraid from the Iranian regime, because the Iranian regime is somehow and to some extent their agent, their accomplice. They are afraid of having a real alternative for the Iranian regime. a nationalist one, a popular one, something, risen from the Iranian nation's will. This is why they are worried about. They don't want to lose a corrupted anti-democratic regime like the current Islamic regime, and not having Iran completely destroyed and disintegrated. They want effectively have both Iranian regime overthrow and vanishing completely a civilization called Iran. So that's why I think the best strategy is to set in motion a direction in which we can effectively have a real future for the Iranian nation through a social movement. And this social movement can be organized, can be led, can be equipped with a good smart strategy for keeping the foreign factors, out, and to have just the Iranian nation to face the Islamic regime. And that's all. This is possible. This is possible if we are aware about its importance and its technicality, of course. And if we can organize it, I am pretty sure that will become a very good model for many other countries in the region or even beyond, so that we can see for the first time in the 21st century that the nation is able to change its historical future in such a way that nobody from outside is influencing or is manipulating something. Just a pure, genuine national movement. This is possible, and me and many other Iranians, we are working on that. We are working on this scenario, and we are trying to do it. And of course, every support that can come effectively to this kind of movement would be welcome, and we are pretty sure that we are able to do so. Because we believe effectively on the infinite capability of the human beings to change their fate, and or anything. We believe that for any problem there are infinite solutions. So that's why we have motivation, we have the philosophy, we have the analytical system for understanding the complexity and intricacy of everything, and to elaborate a strategy in order to change effectively the future of the Iranian nation, and beyond that, the fate of the whole Middle East, the whole region. So that's why I invite you not to take the dark, gloomy future illustrated by the Zionist design as the only one. Even though this design, this plan, this dark plan, this anti-human plan has the support of a monster like the United States. Think about something else. Think out of box. Think about other possibilities that we can explore, and these possibilities are infinite, are countless. We have to believe in that and then materialize it. Thank you very much for watching this video.